This is the second one I've recorded because the first one was just all over the place. I'm going to try to keep it straight to the point and shorter, hopefully. So this one is a update on what I've been working on today, uh, which is records. I'm finally getting to the point where I can work on records. Up to this point, I've avoided it because I knew it'd be quite the pain. So we're finally getting there. So let's go ahead and start. I'm not in the right window. There we go. Start Ostrich. I'm gonna go ahead and log in. Just business as usual. Okay. So, mm, I guess where to start. I was struggling planning this out. So first things first, let's create a collection. So keep in mind and keep be aware of how long the commands are. So if we want to make a new collection, we just do new collection and then you name it. And then it creates it, right? We now have a collection, also known as a database. Well, if you want to add a cluster to that collection, let's open this up so we can see it happening. You would do new cluster, and you name it, bar, right? Within collection, foo. All right, and there you go. Things get updated, things get added, looking good. Well, we went from 3 tokens to 6 very quickly, right? So, well, there's one more layer to this. There's a collection, which is a database. There's the cluster, which is this object here, and then you have records, which are these right here. Well, if we were to follow the same syntax and use atoms, which is what these are all called. So new is the action, cluster is the target, the name of the cluster is the object or the O in atom, and then M would be the modifier. So example, within is a modifier. So if we were to do a record like that, we would do like something like new record bars within within cluster uh, bar within collection foo of type, because we got to give it a type, and then bool. So you see how long that is, as like just that doesn't, it's not good enough for me. I don't want to do that when testing things out. I don't want users to have to do that when testing things out and adding data and whatnot. So I went a different route. The route I decided to go is you still use your atoms, right? New record, you name it, bars, and then you just go of type, and then you specify the type. Right now, the types that are supported are integers, strings, Boolean values, and floats, I believe. So we're gonna give it a type. Let's go with bool. So what happens is once the user says, "Hey, I want to make a new record with this name and this type," the program then allows the user to specifically pick, rather than typing it all out. It displays a kind of a table, or a tree is a better word. It displays a tree of all the collections that you have and the clusters within them. So if we just go ahead and say, so select the collection you want to do this in, right? We're going to do foo and select the cluster bar since that's our only option. If I did something else right now, it would break because I don't have the correct error handling um, and set up. But there you go. You see how bars got added pretty quickly. So I I think this is better. I don't know. Like I, I would like for people who are watching this to tell me if you think this method may be easier. Now, obviously, if you have 100 collections and each collection's fixing to have 1,000 of these, and maybe not, you know, but at this small scale, especially when just development and testing it, I think this is the best option. So let's look at this. So we named it, and I'm going with this syntax here of putting the type within these colons. I It just makes sense to me, especially after working with Odin for a few months now. Well, actually a couple months now. This just makes sense to me. And then at this point, you'd have your value whenever it comes time to enter that. This way, whenever the database is like, okay, let's just make sure this data type is accurate, all it has to do is look for over here, and then it can it'll set up, eventually it will set up like, okay, well, you say Boz is a Boolean, but you try to add, uh, you know, double quotes and anything within those, or just the double quotes themselves, that's invalid. It must be true or false, right? Eventually that'll be implemented. Same thing with anything else. If you say it was an int, but you tried to put in, 3.5, well, no, that's not correct data, so it's invalid. Um, so yeah, that's the future plans for it. I'll show you what it looks like if we did something else. So let's uh, do a new cluster within new cluster. I always forget to name it. New cluster test within collection foo. Oh, it broke it. Something got broken here. I think the buffer is not being reset. So I'm going to try logging out and then logging in. By the way, this is the second time this has happened. Atoms. See that should be bringing up something. So something's wrong here, but that's okay. I just wanted to show off that what I've been working on. We are now inserting records and giving them types. The next step is really giving them data, and I think I might use a new command for that. Obviously, nothing's going to happen now because something broke, but we could do something like I don't know, set baz or set record. All right, set record. That way it follows our atom structure. Set record baz, and then you just give it, true, and then this will get parsed out. Try to get input, and if you know it comes back as baz being an int, it'll throw an error saying, "Hey, baz is supposed to be an integer. True is not an integer." So on and so forth. So that's it. Sorry, I got that bug there. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to call it a night. Let me know what y'all think about the command, the long command for a record versus the kind of the user interface that I've kind of built out. Peace.